Inside the hospital, the scared nurse softly whispered to the biker, sitting in the waiting area. "He's been following me." Marcus looked up from his magazine. The woman wore purple scrubs and her name tag read Sarah Chen. Her hands trembled as she pretended to check his visitor badge. Her eyes darted toward a man standing near the vending machines. "How long?" Marcus asked quietly. Sarah moved closer, adjusting the papers on her clipboard. "I reported it twice. Police said they can't do anything without proof of direct threat. But yesterday he was outside my apartment. This morning he was at the coffee shop where I stopped before work." The man by the vending machines wasn't buying anything. He just stood there, watching Sarah through the glass reflection. Marcus recognized the behavior immediately. This wasn't random. This was calculated. 3 weeks. Different locations. He knows my schedule. "Does he ever approach you?" Marcus studied the man without turning his head. Average height, dark jacket, phone in hand but screen dark. He wasn't texting, he was monitoring. "No, he just watches, always 20 feet away. Never closer, never speaks." Third, pediatrics. Before we continue, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The Goodness Effect. Marcus set down his magazine. "Go back to work, act normal." "What floor?" 11, tonight. "When's your shift end?" "I'll handle it. I am witnessing. Now go before he notices we're talking." Sarah walked away, her steps measured and professional. The man by the vending machines waited 30 seconds, then followed the same direction. He didn't go far. Just to the corridor entrance where he could see the elevator banks. Sarah's eyes widened. "I didn't mean. I just thought maybe you'd be a witness or something." This wasn't amateur hour. This was someone who knew what they were doing. Marcus stood and stretched, acting like any bored visitor. He walked toward the restrooms, passing close enough to get a better look. The man's jacket had a worn spot on the right pocket. Same place someone would repeatedly reach for a phone or keys, but more importantly, same place someone would carry something else. The stalker's shoes were wrong too. Too practical, too ready to move fast. An hour passed. The man shifted positions only twice, always maintaining line of sight to Sarah's floor. He bought a coffee from the cafeteria but barely drank it. Just another prop. Marcus didn't leave the hospital. Instead he moved through the building, learning its layout. Every exit, every stairwell, every camera blind spot. The stalker had positioned himself perfectly. He could see the main elevators, the staff elevator, and the emergency stairs from his vending machine post. Marcus called his friend Dean, a retired detective. "Need you to run a plate for me." Dean sighed. "What's this about?" "Can't or won't. You know I can't do that anymore. Police said no direct threat means no action." Meanwhile, this guy knows her routine down to the minute. How long before no direct threat becomes something worse? Woman's being stalked. Police won't help. 3 weeks of following, and now he's at her workplace. That's police business, Marcus. Dean was quiet for a moment. "What do you need?" "I'm sending you a photo. See what comes up." Marcus had snapped a picture while walking past. The stalker hadn't noticed, too focused on the elevator display showing which floors were active. 20 minutes later, Dean called back. "Marcus, be careful with this one. Talk to me. His name is Eric Vance. He's got a record. Nothing violent, but plenty of restraining orders. 4 different women over 6 years. Each case started exactly like you described. Watching from distance, learning patterns, then escalation." "What kind of escalation?" Marcus felt his jaw tighten. "How's he not in jail?" "Breaking and entering. Theft of personal items. One woman found him inside her apartment, just sitting on her couch, said he wanted to be close to her energy. Another found a camera hidden in her bedroom. All moved away, changed jobs. One left the state entirely. Good lawyers. Psychological evaluations that claim he's not dangerous. Restraining orders that he technically follows. He stays the required distance, never makes verbal threats. System can't touch him until he actually commits a crime they can prove. The women. "This ends tonight," Marcus said. Marcus watched Eric check his phone, then look back at the elevators. The man smiled slightly when a nurse in purple scrubs walked past. Not Sarah, but same uniform. "Don't do anything stupid," Dean warned. "Wouldn't dream of it." But Marcus was already forming a plan. Legal methods had failed Sarah. The system had failed her. Sometimes protection meant stepping outside the lines. At 10:45, Marcus positioned himself near the staff parking garage. Sarah had told him she parked on level 2, section B. Eric would know that too. Level 2. Eric stopped behind a concrete pillar with clear view of section B. He checked his watch, then his phone, waiting. Sure enough, at 10:50, Eric left his vending machine post. He didn't leave the hospital though, he headed straight for the parking garage. Marcus followed, keeping distance. Eric moved with confidence now. No more pretending to be casual. He walked like a man who owned the space, who had done this route many times before. Eric turned, up close, his eyes were cold, calculating. "Can I help you?" Marcus approached from behind, footsteps deliberate and loud. "You can leave." Eric smiled. "I don't know what you think you saw, but I'm just waiting for my ride. This is a public parking garage. Not for you, not tonight." In the exact section where Sarah Chen parks, after following her for 3 weeks, the smile disappeared. "I don't know anyone, Sarah." "Then you won't mind leaving." Eric's hand moved toward his jacket pocket. Marcus caught his wrist before he could reach whatever was inside. Marcus stepped closer. "Rights are interesting. Technically you're right. You can stand here. Watch from distance. Never say a threatening word. And technically the police can't touch you. But here's what's not technical. You're scaring a woman who just wants to do her job and go home safely. That ends now. I have every right to be here." "Bad choice," Marcus said quietly. "Let go or I'll scream assault." "Go ahead. Let's see what's in that pocket when security arrives." "You're insane. I'm calling the police. And I know men like you. You pick women who are alone, who feel powerless. You study them like projects. Learn everything about them. Make them feel watched every second of every day. You get off on the fear." Eric's face flushed. "You can't touch me. I know my rights." "Yet." "That's the word you're dancing around. You haven't done anything yet. But we both know where this goes. It always escalates with guys like you. Please do. I'd love to explain to them why you're hiding in a parking garage at 11 at night, in the exact spot where your victim parks, 3 weeks into documented stalking behavior." Eric jerked his arm free. "Victim? I haven't done anything." Eric's expression changed instantly. He smiled at her, friendly and warm. "Evening." The elevator dinged. Sarah stepped out, saw them, and froze. Sarah said nothing. Her keys were already positioned between her fingers, like a weapon. "Go to your car," Marcus told her. "I'll walk with you." "Sarah," Eric called out. "I just want to talk." Sarah's car was a small sedan, 10 spaces from where they stood. Marcus stayed between her and Eric as they walked. Eric followed at exactly 15 feet. Legal distance. Always legal distance. "I'm not trying to scare you. I just think we have a connection. If you just give me 5 minutes to explain." "She doesn't owe you anything," Marcus interrupted. She didn't respond. Her hands shook as she unlocked her car. Sarah got in her car and locked the doors immediately. But she didn't start the engine. She was watching through the window. "And she's not talking to you at all. Notice that." "I'm talking to Sarah, not you." Eric stepped closer to Marcus. "You think you're her hero? She probably called you because she's paranoid. I've been nothing but respectful. I've never broken any laws." "Show me your phone." "Excuse me. That's private property." "So are the photos you've been taking. The videos. The detailed notes about her schedule." "Your phone. Show me." Eric's face went pale. "I don't know what you're talking about." "I know my rights. You have no authority to search my property." "Then the phone won't show anything. So show me." Marcus pulled out his own phone and called Dean. "Need you to send someone to Memorial Hospital parking garage level 2, got a stalker with potential evidence on his phone. Victim is present and willing to make a formal statement." "Your jacket pocket. What's in there?" "You can't prove anything," Eric said, but his confidence was cracking. "Nothing." "Then show me." Eric backed away. "This is harassment. I'm the victim here." "Really? Because from where I'm standing, you're a man who spent 3 weeks terrorizing a woman, and tonight you were waiting in her parking spot with something in your pocket. What was the plan, Eric? Just talk, or something more?" Sarah rolled down her window slightly. "There's a video camera on level 3. It shows the entrance to this level. If he's been here before, it'll show that too." Eric's expression changed to panic. I've never I mean, I might have parked here a few times, but that doesn't mean anything. A few times in 3 weeks, while Sarah was working, Marcus asked. That'll look interesting to a judge. I don't have to explain myself to you. No, but you'll explain to the police. They're 3 minutes away. Eric looked between Marcus and Sarah's car. He was calculating, weighing options. Then he made his choice. He ran. Marcus didn't chase him immediately. Instead, he noted which direction Eric went, down the garage ramp toward level 1, toward the street exit. Stay in your car, Marcus told Sarah. Lock the doors. Don't leave until the police arrive. Where are you going? To make sure he doesn't come back. Marcus moved quickly but carefully. The garage was poorly lit, full of blind corners, perfect place for someone desperate to hide and wait. Then, Marcus heard it. Footsteps echoing from the stairwell. Going up, not down. Level 1 was busier. A few people getting into cars, heading home from late shifts. Eric wasn't among them. Marcus took the elevator up to the main floor. If Eric went through the hospital, he'd have to exit somewhere visible. The front entrance had security. The emergency department had cameras everywhere. Smart. The street exit was obvious, but the hospital had multiple entrances. Eric was doubling back through the building. But the loading dock area in back, that was always understaffed at night. A door clicked shut ahead. The loading dock access. Marcus headed that direction. The corridor was empty, lights dimmed for evening hours. His footsteps echoed on the linoleum. Outside, the loading area was dark, except for a single floodlight. A delivery truck sat empty, driver probably on break, and there, slipping between the truck and the wall, was Eric. Eric spun around. In the harsh light, Marcus saw what was in his hand now. A knife, small but sharp. Stay back. There's nowhere to go, Marcus called out. Put it down. Is that what you'll tell yourself, that you're the victim? I said, stay back. I haven't done anything wrong. You're the one harassing me, chasing me, threatening me. I am. She smiled at me once. In the cafeteria, 3 months ago, she smiled, and we had a moment. A connection, but then she started ignoring me, acting like I didn't exist. Do you know how that feels? A smile doesn't mean she wants you following her. I wasn't following, I was just being nearby. Making sure she was safe. This city is dangerous. She should be grateful someone cares. Eric's hand trembled on the knife. You don't understand. None of you understand. I would never hurt her. I love her. That's not care, that's obsession. She doesn't know you. She will. If everyone would just leave us alone, she'd see. We're meant to be together. Sirens wailed in the distance. Getting closer. Eric heard them too. His eyes darted toward the street. This is your fault. You ruined everything. You don't know what you're talking about. The sirens were closer now, maybe 2 blocks away. I stopped you from ruining her life. Marcus, let him go. Let the police handle it now. He'd done what he needed to do. Kept Sarah safe. Forced Eric into making mistakes. Got him on camera with a weapon. 2 police cars pulled up to the loading dock. Marcus raised his hands, showing he was unarmed. The man you're looking for ran toward 4th Street. Brown jacket, about 5'10", carrying a knife. His name is Eric Vance. He's wanted for stalking. Eric made his decision. He ran toward the street, still holding the knife. 1 officer stayed with Marcus while the others pursued. Marcus explained everything. Sarah's initial whisper, the 3 weeks of stalking. Eric's record. The confrontation in the parking garage. You should have called us immediately, the officer said. She did, twice. Was told there wasn't enough evidence for action. Your procedures left her unprotected for 3 weeks. She works night shifts, parks in an isolated garage, and a man with a history of this behavior was tracking her every move. We can't arrest someone for standing in public places. The officer's jaw tightened. That's not, we have procedures. Even when he's doing it to 4 different women, even when every case follows the exact same pattern. 15 minutes later, the other officers returned with Eric in handcuffs. The knife was in an evidence bag. Eric was shouting about his rights, about being attacked, about defending himself. The officer had no response to that. Will he go to jail? Miss Chen, the officer said, we'll need you to come to the station to give a formal statement. We're charging Mr. Vance with stalking, criminal trespass and possession of a weapon with intent to intimidate. Sarah arrived with another officer who'd taken her statement. When she saw Eric in cuffs, her entire body sagged with relief. Tonight, yes. After that, Depends on the judge. But we'll request a restraining order and bail conditions that keep him away from you. Marcus. And you don't need to thank me. Sarah looked at Marcus. Thank you. I don't even know your name. Yes, I do. I felt so helpless. Like no one would believe me or help me. The police kept saying they needed more evidence. My supervisor suggested I was overreacting. Even my friends said maybe I was imagining patterns that weren't there. You weren't imagining anything, your instincts were right. How did you know what to do? The knife. He had a knife. Which means he came to that garage prepared for confrontation. If you'd been alone, Marcus hesitated. I've seen situations like this before. People who use the system's limitations as protection while they terrorize others. Sometimes you have to force their hand, make them show who they really are. Eric may bail, she said quietly. But there's a restraining order, 500 feet, and he has to wear a GPS monitor. If he comes anywhere near me, they'll know immediately. Sarah didn't need him to finish the sentence. They both knew how it could have ended. 3 days later, Marcus returned to the hospital. Sarah had texted him, asking if they could talk. She met him in the cafeteria during her break. How are you feeling? The system isn't designed to protect. It's designed to react after something happens. Safer, but also angry. It took him pulling a knife for anyone to take it seriously. I reported him twice. Gave them his description, told them about the pattern. But until he became an immediate threat, I was just supposed to live with the fear. It is. That's broken. Sarah stirred her coffee. I talked to the other women, the ones Dean told you about. 2 of them want to press charges now. Said they have evidence they were too scared to submit before. Photos, messages, proof he violated the old restraining orders. Maybe with all of us together, they'll actually put him away. That's brave of them. And you. You did what you could with a system that failed you. That's not your fault. I don't feel brave. I feel like I should have done more sooner. Still, 3 weeks of fear. 3 weeks of checking over my shoulder, changing my routine, being afraid in my own home, and it only ended because a stranger in a hospital waiting room decided to help. Marcus smiled slightly. Not a stranger anymore. No, not anymore. Sarah leaned forward. Why were you at the hospital that day anyway? I never asked. Friend's kid had surgery. I was keeping him company. Me too. I'm glad you were there. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. Around them, the cafeteria buzzed with normal hospital activity. Doctors grabbing coffee, nurses on break, visitors looking exhausted and worried. Life continuing as it always did. That's a good idea. I'm thinking of starting a support group, Sarah said. For people dealing with stalking, somewhere they can share information, resources, what worked and what didn't. Because if the police won't help until it's too late, we need to help each other. Marcus considered. He'd never wanted to be in the spotlight, never wanted to be anyone's hero. He just did what needed doing when he saw someone who needed help. But maybe that was exactly why he should help. Will you help? Maybe come speak sometimes. About warning signs, how to stay safe, what people can do to protect themselves. Yeah, he said. I can do that. Sarah smiled for the first time since he'd met her. A real smile, not one forced through fear. Thank you, Marcus, for everything. For believing me when no one else would. For doing something when everyone else said there was nothing to be done. You're welcome. But Sarah, you saved yourself. I just helped speed things along. You trusted your instincts, you asked for help, you fought through a system that told you your fear didn't matter. That takes strength. Maybe. But I'm glad I didn't have to do it alone. Marcus raised his coffee cup. To not being alone. Sarah clinked hers against it. To not being alone. Outside, the sun was setting over the city. Somewhere out there, other people were afraid, being followed, being watched. The system would fail many of them, just like it almost failed Sarah. But now there would be one more voice speaking up. One more support system. One more way for people to protect each other when the official channels couldn't or wouldn't. It wasn't a perfect solution. Nothing ever was. And sometimes, a start was all you needed to change everything. But it was a start. Retry. 2 weeks passed. Marcus got a call from Dean. Retry. Add 1,000 more words in existing story where you left. Don't write it from start. Dean didn't say, just said we needed to be there. You need to see this, Dean said. Meet me at the courthouse. Bring Sarah if she's available. Marcus picked up Sarah after her shift. She looked nervous. What's this about? Eric Vance's hearing is in 20 minutes. Dean explained. But that's not why I called you. Remember how Sarah said the other women wanted to come forward? The courthouse was busy with afternoon hearings. Dean met them outside courtroom 3. He held a folder thick with documents. Yes, Sarah said. It's bigger than we thought. After word got out about Eric's arrest, 7 more women contacted the police. 7, all with similar stories, all from the past 8 years. And here's the thing that makes my blood boil. 5 of them had filed reports. 5 separate women told police they were being followed by the same man, and nobody connected the dots. Different precincts, different officers. Reports filed in different systems. No one looked at the pattern because no one was looking for a pattern. Each case was treated as isolated. Each woman was told the same thing. Not enough evidence. No direct threat. Call back if something happens. Marcus felt anger rising in his chest. How does that happen?